Well, hello there, you gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my magical channel. It is Tara Kindon here, the Celestial Manifester, and today I wanted to do something special and unique. This is just human design. So for those of you who are into astrology, a little curious about human design and diving into all the things, this is about the new year. So specifically the human design new year. Now in the Gregorian calendar, the new year starts on January the 1st. But in the human design calendar, it starts on the 22nd of January, which you'll be seeing this the day before if you watch it early. Now, regardless, this energy is kind of like, boom, this is how the year is going to start. So this is the energy that will carry on through the year until next January, January 24, which the energy will of course change, and it has every year, and it will every year. But the interesting thing about this year, like I really feel like this is the year that people will be stepping more into their personal power, into trusting in themselves, into their own wisdom, and acknowledging some of the gifts that make you who you are that you've been denying. They no longer get to be denied. It is like go time. You get to own all of your freaky, weird, cool, awesome energy. And if people don't like it, they ain't your people. So that's totally perfect. Now, let's dive into this gorgeous chart. This is going to be kind of like a short and sweet, maybe a little fast and furious, but it's going to give you the insights of how this energy could be showing up this year in a really beautiful way. And the idea with you understanding and learning about this is that you then get to utilize it and integrate it into your own daily practice and, rituals that help you to remember that this is what we are all working with this year. And we sometimes, we're trying to be individuals and we're trying to really separate ourselves from the collective, but we can be an individual, we can be unique within the collective, and that, part of the evolution and growth for our collective is that we begin to accept and embrace other people's uniqueness, that you don't need to be, you don't need to be the lone wolf anymore. You can be part of the collective, but being your own cool, unique self within that. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to go it alone. And this isn't the year to go it alone. So, I mean, if you want to have at her, but I just feel like this is the year for collaboration, for collective consciousness, for multidimensionality, for us really trying to find a way to kind of come together. And it's funny because like the trajectory communalist. So we are coming into community and into communion together. Let's begin. Okay. So if you look at this beautiful chart, this is where the stars were at this time, which was snapshotted at 7:52 in the morning on January 22nd. Now this will be universal time. So regardless, just go with the energy as opposed to the exact timing of it all, to feel into how it's going to feel for you. And checking this against your own natal chart to see, well, what do I have defined natally and how might this impact that? Or if I have something open here, how may I really be amplifying that energy this year within myself? So I will start up here, which is where the sun is going to be. And the sun is going to be in gate 41. Gate 41 is down here. And this is where the new year kicks off in the 41, which is the gate of imagination. What's really cool about this is like Venus trailblazed through here like a week ago, a couple weeks ago. And so she kind of brought us into the alignment of using our imagination to really, play in the space of the vision and allow ourselves to be expansive in what we want to create in a more beautiful, a more worthy, a more valuable, like we are valuable. And even if, sometimes people associate value and money, but the value in the amount of information you've learned or collected within your lifetime is something you can't put a price tag on. I remember hearing Gary V say this. He asked a question. He was like, what's the ROI on your mother? What's the return investment on your mother? I mean, you just can't measure that. So it's kind of like the same thing Venus is saying to us, like when she went through this first, before the sun is going through it, she kind of had us think about, do you believe in your value? Do you believe in your worth? And if you did, what would it feel like to be in the imagination of creating something, co-creating something with the universe that is brand new and delicious and very new, very new, because it's going through Aquarius. This is attached to Aquarius. And we're in Aquarius season right now with the sun having moved in. So it's this energy of innovation, technology, across the airwaves. This is if you've ever wanted to build a YouTube channel or a podcast or, do something on your social media, like this is the time. There is no better time for you to dive into it. And so imagination, remember, I use the language of Karen Curry Parker. This is quantum human design language. I find it very lovely and digestible and less like, not so pretty. I'm a Venus ruled person. I like pretty. So here we go. It really is about the ability to use your creative imagination. And remember, when it's in the root, this is like a pulse. It's like this little pulse, this little seed you kind of have gotten from the universe. And the goal here is just to continue to generate all these really beautiful, abundant ideas that help you create opportunities in the world to hold this vision so that it can be expanded and that you can transcend any expectations that you had, because you're not trying to figure out, how am I going to make this happen here? This is just like playing, letting all of this, really root juice move through you. So, and what do I mean by that? It's like the root chakra, the root center is connected to the earth. This is like a Mother Earth impulse. You're just going to get this like woo feeling, and it's going to be a really quick pulse, but it's going to be something that maybe sticks with you or has been sticking with you. And because Venus already went through there, you may have a book. Like I always recommend it. Girls in the DFF, I'm like, get an ideas book, because you will have so many ideas flowing through you that it's keeping track of them and seeing which ones keep repeating, because that idea is like, maybe it's now time to move it forward, right? And, not sharing these ideas quite yet, okay? These visions, holding on to them and not letting yourself get looped in an old pattern, breaking free from any confines, limitations, or beliefs, and letting yourself really transcend your own expectations. So it gets to be as big as you decide it's going to be. Now, when we look to the Earth is here in the gate 31. And when you're looking to gate 31, it's off of the throat. So the throat center here is open. You see the openness within this chart. We have only definition in the root and in the emotional solar plexus. And I'll explain to you what I think, my interpretation of what this is going to feel like for us. This is a very feeling and connected year, meaning you really need to be connected to something grounded for yourself this year to feel secure, to feel stable, to feel like you belong. And having a place or a group to be plugged into is going to be key, because you are going to be feeling a lot of feels and tuned in to way more than you may have ever been before, because there's a new level of awareness. And that allows us to really experience the energy of working, of our willpower, of, location and how we feel like we fit in, the spleen being open, the throat being open, ajna and head. It's just like we're going to be amplifying all of these things, big things, fears, the way we work, how we can commit ourselves to something, how we feel about our location, ourselves, how we belong, and then how we communicate. But this gate here is about the leader. And this is what I was saying. I feel like people are really stepping into their personal power this year. And this is going to be leadership power, baby. You've been working on this for a long time, and now it's time to own it. And as the leader, it really is your ability to not only listen, but to learn and to hear and to serve the people that you are leading. Okay. So assuming your role and your value in that role, and understanding like you are a voice for the people that you're leading. And if you're like, I'm not leading anybody, Tara, I'm like, well, you're leading people within your family. Maybe you're a leader of your dog. Like maybe you have a massive following. Like you are all in different places, but you're all in this role of like, how do I lead myself first? How do I trust myself first? You know, because you are literally going first. So if you're going to do this and you're going to step into this, you know, imagination and transcending, you know, any limitations, you're going to do whatever you need to do to feel like you're owning your unique role as a leader. And that gets to look however you decide it looks, but it's going to be gorgeous and beautiful. So then we're going to look to the North Node here, and the North Node is in the gate 24. This is the gate of blessings, seeing blessings in your experiences, you know, because this ajna is like this big filing cabinet that takes all these experiences you've ever had, and it basically says to you, okay, well, that was a crappy experience. Did we learn anything from that? But this is in that, the blessing in the optimism, like your transformation optimism. So it's like that you had this experience that, you know, created maybe pain, created discomfort, but you can see now in hindsight that this was here to help you move forward in a more positive way, and that there was a blessing in this transformation you had to go through, because now you are leading, teaching, and moving from a totally different perspective. The South Node, remember, North Node is always where we're going. South Node is where we've been. And South Node is down here off the spleen center, saying this is, you know, can be called the fear center, but it's the instinct. It's in the knowing, in the now knowing. And it's fast and it's quick. And it says, hey, these are the patterns we've seen happening. We're breaking these patterns and moving forward. We see the truth in what has been, and now we get to move forward. So it's like all this past experience, all this stuff that you've been working through and working with, you're now utilizing. You see the potential and power in all of those experiences and all of that information, and you get to move it forward. The moon here, which is how we are highly tuned in, how we feel our emotional set point, is in the gate 19. So if the moon wasn't sensitive enough, she now is like 1,000 times more aware. She is our awareness, but she this year is just like tuned in to the environment, tuned into people. She is going to be far more sensitive and aware. But you can use this creative power because it's actually moving to the gate 49 and creating this beautiful transformative connection here from the 19 to the 49, which is moon to Venus, moon to Venus. So our divine feminine frequencies are hanging out right here together, working together. So I'm going to come back to Mercury because I want to just get you this energy. So we have Venus sitting in the 49, which is the emotional solar plexus. And remember, the emotional solar plexus is the most creative, emotive center that is, you know, more sensitive, more in tune with the way we feel about life, ourselves, all the things. So Venus, the goddess of worth, value, beauty, money, how we're dealing with our money, she is in the gate of the catalyst. Okay. So she is like, I don't like how this is anymore. Boom. I'm tuned in because moon is here. Moon is over here being like, I feel all of this stuff and I'm hypersensitive to what's happening in the world. Venus is like, you don't like it? Boom. Let's change it. Let's do it. And that's the energy here. So it's like, if you're seeing patterns and things you don't like, or you're tuned in and you're like, something feels funky here, just know that Venus has the power and the ability to really change that, because she is holding on to a higher sense of value in herself. And what does that mean? It's like she is finally saying, we are worth more than this. And not only are we worth more than this, we're going to stand here on this little podium until we get what we want, because we know now how valuable we are, right? And what's going to be very beautiful about this is that when enough of us stand in this power of knowing and holding true, holding that emotional frequency, because remember, it's attached to the emotional solar plexus, we're going to also be inspiring other people to make these massive and expansive changes in their own lives so that they can also embrace these higher principles and become in a deeper alignment with peace and sustainability, because this is like where we want to be headed. We've had a lot of chaos, a lot of discomfort, but that's been moving us towards change. And we're continuing to be in that time warp, if you will, of change and evolution. And it's still going to be a little bit squishy. But when we understand this, we have this willingness to align with a higher frequency. And that higher frequency is us recognizing in ourselves our own co-creative powers here. So it's going to be a really cool and unique energy that we're experiencing this year with Moon and Venus. Now, let me go back to Mercury, because he's over here on the other side in the joy of mastery. And he wants us to put the work in. He's retrograde here forever, and then he will be moving forward, but he's still stuck in this place at the time of this, screenshot of the new year. And this is that interesting energy of doing the work, getting ourselves ready. Practice makes perfect, getting the thing, doing the work, setting the stage, because we know the bigger vision is this. So if we want to reach this bigger vision, we've got to do the work, but we can be happy doing the work and practicing a daily joy practice. Like, what makes me happy? What makes me feel good? Following those pulses. Go and drink a glass of water. Go for a walk. Go and do this. That's the pulses. Like, that's your root pulse saying, go have fun in the process. You're doing the work, but enjoy the ride. It's not about the destination as much as it is about the ride. And that's what Mercury's been teaching us. How can we have fun on the ride? Okay. Then we've got Mars in the gate 16, which he was also hanging out and retrograding here. And this is the gate of zest. This is the zest for life. This is trusting in your intuition. And this is a big one, because if you don't know yet, let me remind you that this beautiful opportunity is here for all of us to have courage, to trust our intuition, and to know that we are ready enough, and that when the timing is right, you'll know exactly what to do and how to move forward on your journey. Because he retrograded here for what felt like forever, 3 months, it literally felt like forever. It was really encouraging us to go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Meanwhile, you're like kicking and screaming, being like, I'm done going deeper. I would like to move forward now. So you're going to be moving forward here. And now you have the tools in which to do it. And hopefully over this last little while, you've been building your courage muscle in your intuition to help you, because you're going to go to Jupiter, who is in expansion mode. Jupiter always expands whatever we're thinking about. And in this gate 17, this is the gate of anticipation, also can be known as the gate of opinions. So you want to watch throwing out your opinions to people, because that's a big one that could be happening this year. Everybody's got an opinion. Keep yours to yourself. Don't bother. And using the power of your mind here to really explore all the potentials, all the possibilities, without limiting yourself, without having to go to like, well, how would I get this to work? Or somebody will give you their opinion and be like, but that's not realistic. Or, how are you going to do that? Like, and they ruin your party. They ruin your expansion party. So let those things that people say to you opinion wise that are, just thank you for your opinion. Bye-bye. Throw it out. You don't need to keep it in. Okay. And using your thoughts to really inspire bigger thinking, inspire yourself, inspire people with the words that you use, the language that you use, and being aware that words have power, and that the thoughts that we think create our experiences via the emotion and via our ability to calibrate the energy. So it's a big thing. And then go to Saturn. Saturn is down here in the gate 30. This is the gate of passion. He's like, I want to, help you here, get passionate about something. And we have the sun on the other side of this being like, What's the big vision? And then you have the help from Saturn saying, help me, let me help you put that into practice. Let me help you put that forward. Let's get passionate behind this thing because we're going to move it forward. And that Saturn is the ability to sustain the dream through emotional frequency. So it's funny, like, I started the DFF, Divine Feminine Frequency. It's a daily Voxer love note that I give to people who are signed into it. And it really tells you, here's where Venus and the moon are, and this is some big energy that's going to be moving through. And it helps them to calibrate their energy for the day ahead. And by calibrating your energy, you change the dynamic of the day, period. And this is the power of your own frequency and understanding what that means. So a lot of people are like, they get the idea energy is everything and everything is energy, but they don't understand, how do I have control over my emotional set point? Well, you might not have control over all of your emotions, but you have control over the way you respond to the things. And when you know certain things are happening that day, you get a deep breath and you say, okay, well, this isn't the day I'm going to go quit my job because I know that the energy is funky, or like whatever it is that's specific. I'm not going to have this big conversation with my partner because I know that there's some friction in the, with, like, let's say with this Mars retrograde forever, it's like, well, there's certain days that were like not a good day to have big conversations because people were more sensitive and would have taken it more harshly. So we want to be like conscious of those things. And that's what the DFF does. And this is where I'm loving that we have all of this emotional energy, like in our face this year. It's saying, yes, use the power of your emotions to create what you want. And this is the beauty we will be working with this year, is this power to create, stepping into your leadership powers, trusting in yourself. And next we move into Uranus. Uranus, my favorite guy here, he is the rogue entrepreneur. He does things his own way. He does not do things the same ever twice. It is always different. It's always fun. It's electric. It's boom, quick, fast, and furious, and it's fabulous. He is in the gate 2. This is the gate of allowing. Do I trust in myself? Do I trust the universe has my back? Do I allow myself to go and chase my passions? Because he's literally on your heart center here, G center, saying, well, if we don't like what we've been doing, what would feel really good to do? Now, let's not worry about the fact, and I used this example the other day when I did our new moon video. It's like, let's say you've been a surgeon for the last 10 years and you decided surgery is no longer my thing. I'm too stressed out doing it. I'm not enjoying my life. I'm burning myself out. And you decide you're going to go into jewelry making. And people are like giving you their opinions, which says, are you crazy? You're going to give up your $300,000 job to go and make jewelry? Have you lost? And you're like, yeah, but it's, joke's on you. My Etsy store is beyond, I'm selling out every time I do a specialty sale once a month. And I have this exclusive following and blah, 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 blah. And like, this is the energy of this Uranus here, waking us up to new potentials and to new possibilities and saying like, look, if you're passionate about it, follow it, chase it, run it down, because there is something here for you. But do you trust that I have your back? Can you lean back? Let me hug you and hold you as you move through this process, because it's going to be like weird and icky and maybe a little bit crazy and feel very unstable. But do you trust that there is something good on the other side of it? So that's always the question. And most people will quit before then because somebody up here will have given them some idea or opinion that took them like, boom, out of the game. And they just like quit before they even started. So that is energy here with that Uranus saying, I got you. Are you ready? Let's do this thing. And then we have Neptune. Remember, Neptune is higher consciousness, higher mind in the gate 36, again, off the emotional solar plexus. And this is that energy of allowing yourself to become more expansive, to become more involved in your creation of this emotional frequency. Because if you can hold that vision and sustain it with this aligned frequency, this new frequency you're feeling and creating, it gives you the power to bring it into fruition, of course, when the time is right. And it's the ability for you to really stretch the boundaries, breaking patterns, creating miracles. And it's all done through the emotional frequency you're able to generate. Okay. So I'm actually hosting a masterclass on the 31st, which is in 2 weeks. And it will be specifically designed to teach you the Venus Code. And the Venus Code is about how do I manifest into, how do I shift my thoughts to create a feeling, to give me this calibration, to help me clean up some of the things that's preventing me from moving forward and trusting in universe and allowing myself to listen and feel the pulses. So if that sounds like something you want to join me in on, it's literally about everything we're talking about here, teaching you how to trust yourself, trust your intuition, step into your personal power, believe in your own magic and your own ability to create whatever you want if you believe. And then lastly, I'm just going to end off. So I'll put the notes below where you can sign up for that masterclass and the DFF, if that feels good to you. But Pluto is in the gate 60, and this is the gate of conservation. And if you remember, Pluto, Moon, and Sun were all here for that new moon. So there is this energy, and Pluto is the god of the underworld. He is all about our transformation, and he is teaching us to find the blessings in transformation. So being optimistic about the transformation and focusing our energy on what is working as opposed to what is not working. Keeping your head right this year is going to be like that number one thing you can do. Keeping your head right, thoughts right, so that you help yourself to begin to feel into all of the feelings that you desire, because those feelings create a frequency. That frequency creates a calibration, and your heart begins to magnetize towards it experiences that are connected to this energy, this frequency. So if you begin to understand that process, which is my Venus code, you will begin to better understand how to utilize the energy you're gifted with on a daily basis. It's that easy. So that is it, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you got some new information and some new ideas, or it inspired you or reminded you of like, yes, that is something I really want to work on. That's something I've been wanting to do this year. That's a place I want to track down. I want you to track down whatever road feels good to you, because you have the power of Venus, you have the power of the moon, you have Saturn and the sun working together, trying to find a way to bridge the gap for us. And it's like from root, from that pulse to the actual calibration piece, it's like they're working together. So it is a really big, beautiful year. We have a lot of big, beautiful energy moving through. As you know, and I've said this before, that 2020 ain't got nothing on 2023. We have bigger energies, outer planets moving into new signs this year, and that is going to rock our worlds. But when you are more stable, when you feel more grounded, when you know what you know and you trust what you know, it's good. You're good to go. All right. Mwah. So much love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you get the latest video when it is available. Again, thank you so much. I'm putting the information below for the DFF and for the All In on Me 2023, masterclass. And this is where you get to go in, all in on you, your dreams, your vision, what inspires you. So thank you for being here. Take care.